Sally McManus, the Prime Minister's announced a $1,500 pandemic leave payment this afternoon for Victorians. Does it meet what the ACTU and the Business Council were jointly calling for earlier today?
Well, look, it's a step forward, but it doesn't meet what we were calling for, and the reason why is for two reasons. First of all, we've got to eliminate any penalty whatsoever for people to isolate. So any financial penalty will be a disincentive for people to isolate. So $1,500 a fortnight is about the minimum wage. The average wage is more than double that. So for some workers, you're basically saying to them, if you've got to isolate, that you're going to have a significant pay cut. We've just got to take away that disincentive. It's just a hole in our defences. The second issue is about delivery. You just got to make it as simple and easy as possible, just like sick leave. You get sick leave, you get paid your normal leave, your employer pays it, the government reimburses it. That's what the Business Council and the ACTU were calling for. Whilst it's good, people aren't going to get nothing and there's going to be an improvement, it's still not what's needed to make sure we're doing absolutely everything we can to keep the virus under control.
What do you think is going to be the impact of the Victorian government's decision today to shut down almost all manufacturing and industry in the state?
Well, we know that that's going to lead to a lot of people being stood down. I think it's about 250,000 people in that situation. So that's going to have a big impact on people. Those people will end up being on JobKeeper. Unfortunately, if you're in the early childhood sector, because for some reason the government's excluded early childhood centres from JobKeeper, they will get nothing, which is something that really needs to be fixed and can be fixed tomorrow. For Victoria, I think the general idea is if this is what's got to be done, we've got to do it, and we've got to do it properly, and we've got to have the supports there for that 6-week period, because if we can get through that 6 weeks and recover afterwards, that's one matter. If we go through all this pain and we don't do everything we can and we can't recover and we can't control the virus, that's an entirely different matter.
I was reading on the weekend that Melbourne's 25 lowest income postcodes have had more than half of the COVID cases. A lot of the people in those suburbs would also be doing a lot of essential work for the community as cleaners, orderlies, waste disposal people, all of that kind of stuff, you name it. Are we really all in this together, as we're constantly told?
Well, I remember this virus started from skiers bringing it from Aspen. It was a rich person's virus that brought it here. It's completely changed now. It's now basically finds where our weakest defences are. In this case, insecure work, low-paid workers who are making decisions to go to work even if they've got symptoms because they just can't afford to stay at home. They don't have paid sick leave. And that's the weakness that the virus unfortunately has found. We knew we were going to have this problem if we didn't, eliminate the virus in Australia, and unfortunately that's exactly what we're seeing. It's not unique in Australia. The same thing's happened all around the world. The virus has gone into those communities of essential workers that are low paid and vulnerable, and the same unfortunately is now happening here.
For workers in Victoria for whom English is a second language, how effective or otherwise do you think that the communication has been around protocols to do with COVID symptoms, testing and isolation?
Well, obviously not as effective as it could be, because we know that there's big issues in lots of workplaces because of that. The other big hole is the fact that people on temporary visas weren't getting job seeker and they weren't getting job keeper. So essentially we said to those people way back 4 months ago that you've got nothing, and if you're stuck here in the country, you're going to have nothing. So it's not surprising that it's those people who are more likely to be going to work because that's their only option. So this is clearly another problem that we've got. It's a problem that Victoria has to deal with, but it's a massive warning to the rest of the country as well.
Sally McManus, thank you very much.
No problem.
Hi, I'm Leigh Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.